Hello friends and family all around the world. This is Tony coming to you from Tokyo. Thank you all for your constant prayers and for your messages on Facebook or on Messenger, wherever it is that you find me. It's nice to see that despite the distance and the lack of travel in the last couple of years, this little piece of glass right here is all that really separates us when the day comes to an end. My family is doing very well. My children, Amelia and Edina, are in school and in spite of the virus, having relatively normal time in class and having playtime with their friends and having just a very good childhood right now. Today I picked them up from school and the class went to their little dirt pile, which is in front of their respective rooms, and the entire school shares this little plot of soil. Now, they learn a lot in school. They learn their ABCs, or in this case, Japanese ABCs, and learn, basic building blocks for them to start into grade school in the next years. But my favorite thing that they learn is using and working this little garden in front of their classrooms. Last year, or this last season rather, Amelia, my oldest daughter, she was working in the little plot of land for her class, and they grew some sweet potatoes. And I really like sweet potatoes. When they eventually were finished and brought home, we enjoyed them greatly, and it was a very good experience all around. And what I like most about it, though, is not the sweet potatoes and the great things that come out of it, but sometimes the things that are not so great. She worked most recently on corn, and even though her and her class followed all the steps, in the end, the ear of corn that she got was not that great. It didn't look like something that you would see in a picture book or on a can in a grocery store, let's just say. And I think one of the most important lessons that she's gotten out of that is that things sometimes take time, and not everything turns out to be as good as you're promised or as good as you think it's going to be, but you still put in the work and you do those things, and you learn to appreciate the days spent between the start of something and the end of something. And it's such a good lesson for my children, and it's a lesson that I think is very important for everybody to learn, including myself. We're living right now in this age of instant gratification, where we can upload a selfie of ourselves on Facebook or Instagram, and within seconds, strangers, family, and friends alike are liking your photos, commenting how beautiful or fierce you are. You have all your hashtag game down and you're doing great, and it builds your confidence and feeds into the narcissistic machine. Or you order McDonald's at 11:30 at night, and if the person greeting you at the door with his bag of French fries and Big Macs is too much for you, you can tell the app to instruct your delivery person, just leave it at the door so you can eat your McDonald's in shame. Or you can have a taxi just pick you up and drop you off without saying a single word and without having to change money in your hands, and have it all done via the application itself. This is just an age where these are all really great things. It makes life very convenient, but it also sort of spoils us. It makes us feel frustrated when things don't exactly go our way. Coming into the month of October now, we're starting to head into the end of the year for a lot of holidays. One that comes to my mind, this month it's going to be Halloween, but right after Halloween there's Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving is a very Western, specifically American holiday, and to some extent Canadian. But it's a holiday that has a tradition that I always really liked, which is where we all sat together as a family, usually after a Thanksgiving meal with turkey, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce, and all these wonderful things. And in our sated appetite state of sleepiness after the meal, we go around and say things that we're grateful for from perhaps over a lifetime or over a year. It doesn't really matter. You just say what you wanted. And I thought that was a really beautiful tradition. And it made me think about gratitude and about thankfulness in general, and that the world would have us treat gratitude and thankfulness as a sort of mood for how we should be in the moment. A mood that is only brought at ordained times of the year in order to spur a cycle of actions based on that mood. And while that can be a nice thing, like with Thanksgiving, I think the message of Thanksgiving, the things that we do on Thanksgiving, are almost entirely marred by the fact that right after it, there is a holiday known as Black Friday. I'm sure you've all seen the Black Friday sales where people are jumping over barricades and pushing each other and fist fighting to all for a TV that is some made-up brand that you've probably never seen before that they don't need. They only buy because they're conditioned to buy it, because the world tells you you need more. You deserve more. And it's a pretty gross, unofficial holiday, I would say, after Thanksgiving, but nonetheless a holiday, de facto holiday, at least in the US, and thankfully not so spread around to other places in the world. And we're conditioned in an age where it benefits these corporations and these countries that monetize our need for this constant gratification and to constantly have us in a state of wanting more. It made me think about in opposition to this worldly gratitude, where it's a mood or a season, we have the gratitude that the Bible teaches us, the gratitude that God teaches us, which in opposition is not a mood, but God teaches us gratitude as a way of life, as a mode in which we operate in, a mode that is to permeate our entire existence and our entire lifetime, no matter what the situation is. I think this is best personified and said by the Apostle Paul in a beautiful way in his letter to the Philippians, a group of Christians that were very much on the lam from an oppressive government regime, in this case the Roman Empire, who were actively going out of their way to suppress and oppress and kill Christians for their beliefs. And it says in chapter 4, verse 6 and 7 here, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Jesus Christ." Paul wrote these words while he himself was imprisoned, not only encouraging the Christians in Philippi, but also being thankful that God has him in the current situation that he found himself in. Now, I don't know about you, but I've never been in handcuffs or in prison, and I never want to find out what that is like, and I don't know how I would react, but I don't really think I would have the same sort of strength and composure that Paul had. And right now we're in an age where many feel that they're not getting their fair share, where society or their government has betrayed them. And while these things may or may not be true, it is important to, above all else, rejoice in the Lord Jesus Christ, and to let our gentleness be evident to all, and to not be anxious, even though we live in an age where we may not be getting what we feel we deserve. In closing, again, I just want to say thank you to all of you around the world, whether you're in the US, Germany, Singapore, Japan, or anywhere in between. Thank you for your prayers for my family and for your support. I love you all, and I'm looking forward to the end of all this, when we can be more free to travel around without having swabs stuck our nose and several weeks of quarantine. God bless you all, and have a good week.